So we pick up tonight. We pick up the news video, the second news video, with an update from MLW and an update from MLW Superfight last night, as Raven made his MLW return as a manager for Ricky Shane Page and Akira, and also worked backstage as a excuse me, and also worked backstage as a producer alongside Delirious, Davey Richards, Hugo Savinovich, and Lindsay Dorado, as well as Alex Greenfield and Gary Juster. Matthew Justice also made his debut. John Hennigan and Taya Valkyrie, as well. John Hennigan is officially in a trio with Taya Valkyrie and Sam Adonis from the event, and also the next events for the next event stateside for MLW is on April 6th in NYC at Melrose Ballroom for War Chamber, and for April 8th in Philadelphia back at the 2300 Arena. But next month they will be taping material for television in Tijuana, which is something that MLW has done over the years to, I guess, differentiate themselves, which is very unique for an American promotion to tape elsewhere, because I honestly don't remember the last time WWE did it. I mean, then again, TNA does it when they tape in America, because they usually tape in Canada now. But MLW Underground will officially premiere on Tuesday on Reels at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for a channel that I never really talked about before. I'm having a lot of conversations about Reels in these two videos, but Tuesday, February 7th, MLW Underground officially premieres on Reels at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and the show will feature Alex Hammerstone in a last man standing match against EJ and Duca, as Hammerstone defeated Jacob Fatu at MLW Super Fight. Sorry for the spoiler. And Bame Fight Club leader Alex Kane has an open challenge, as well as Real One, Davey Boy Smith, and Mace Warner are set to appear on the event as well. Again, to my knowledge, MLW Underground will feature live matches and archival footage. Live matches for an hour and archival footage for the second hour. It may be different for the premiere, I don't know, but I guess we will find out on February the 7th when MLW Super Fight premieres on Reels. And if you are looking for new wrestling to watch or more wrestling to watch, check your local listings by just Googling what channel is Reels or do I get Reels, and then it will likely give you the prompt to look up if you get Reels on your cable provider or with your cable provider. According to Bryant, now an interesting bit of information that we are getting a mixed bag, as Wrestling Inc. reports a debunking of the rumor based on the press conference that was held after NXT Vengeance Day, where Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp spoke with Shawn Michaels about the policy change, which includes NXT talent working select independent shows, and that being something that's going to start happening. Sean basically said, to his knowledge, that policy has not changed. Is it possible that it is a fresh policy and that Shawn Michaels would not know? I do suppose that yes, it is a policy that Shawn Michaels may not know at the time, because it is possible that he has been busy setting up NXT Vengeance Day. But Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer reports that the reality of wrestling partnership that we will get to in a second, or the reality of wrestling announcement that we will get to in a second, is the start of the policy change where NXT talent can work independent wrestling shows or select independent shows. I know in the past WWE had it set up where NXT talent can work that NXT talent can work. Evolve won before Evolve was bought by WWE, but Booker T tweeted himself, excited to merge my NXT favorites with the roster of my students at ROW. Do not miss a huge show next Saturday. Can't wait for to see Ivy Nile in the World Gym Arena. Ivy Nile will be making her Reality of Wrestling debut on February the 11th, becoming the first NXT talent to work for Reality of Wrestling. And even though Shawn Michaels believes it will be a one-shot thing, it is, again, possible that HBK does not know, but I do agree with Brian Alvarez when he said NXT going to allow talent to work select indie dates going forward. It's a pretty big deal. I completely agree with that. It is a pretty big deal that WWE would allow that, but it is also understandable why they would, especially if it's with talent that they may not be using currently in NXT, because it would allow talent that they're not currently using in NXT to be featured and still learn. To be featured and still learn on a bigger scale or in front of people, as opposed to just learning at the local NXT events that they do in front of less people. And also it may be something where they can allow the talent to have a reoccurring deal and work elsewhere outside of just in front of the NXT talent or NXT fans. So I think it would do nothing but help NXT talent, in my opinion. I think it would do nothing but help NXT stars, and it's great to hear WWE actually being willing to do that. Whether they are or aren't, I guess we will find out in the coming days and weeks if that is something that WWE is actually doing for NXT talent or not. But like I said, I'm going to go with the idea that it is very likely that WWE just did not inform Shawn Michaels before the press conference, because the pay-per-view took precedent over this announcement. And also, based on the tweets from Brian Alvarez and Booker T, it seems like the announcement came out yesterday, because both their tweets are on February the 4th. So Shawn Michaels was busy yesterday, and it's understandable, in my opinion, why HBK would not know about the partnership. It is also possible, as some might say, that HBK just didn't want the partnership to be out, and he just wanted it to be where it could be sporadic announcements about, this talent going here and this talent going there, as opposed to everybody knowing that this was going to happen. As that is also something that could be possible, in my opinion. Either way, we don't know, but I think I agree with Brian Alvarez that this is a big deal, especially because it could lead to somebody like Grayson Waller, instead of getting called up, going to an independent show and working for an independent company for a time before getting called up. Or, hell, Roddy wanted to get released, no? Why not send him over to an independent company? This is something that Triple H has wanted to do for a long time, have sort of a territory system. And instead of taking the expense or having the expense fall onto WWE, just work with independent companies. Just work with an independent company and share talent. I'm not saying where WWE has to take the independent company's talent and bring them to NXT. I'm just saying that share talent, send NXT talent out. Send them out to allow them to learn from other promotions and work elsewhere in front of more people. And not just lean on the NXT roster, especially if you have every intention of, keeping people down for a little bit longer, because, for lack of a better word, a lot of the NXT roster is still unknown commodities, because WWE has built them from the ground up since the rebranding a few years ago. And that's why I think, that's why I think NXT is in a more stable position now. So if you wanted to start taking talent from NXT and bringing them up, now you can. Last year it would have been a mistake. For the most part. Last year it would have been a mistake. But I think there's a short list of people that I would like to see work other independent companies. A lot of members of the women's roster are among those talent. But also, I would say Roderick Strong, I would say Cameron Grimes, Grayson Waller. There are a number of people on the men's side that if they're not going to get called up to the main roster, I think having them work a little bit on the indies would also be a good idea. But let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on this and everything else that I spoke about today in the news videos, and I will see you in the next video. Also, before I go, I just want to mention that later tonight, I will be having a video air about the current situation on the Bloodline. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.